For the last 5 episodes, I have been building up this absolutely beautiful hobbit hole area, fit with huge farmlands, custom trees, a water mill to process our food and wheat, some other little farms and whatnot, and a place to live. And although this has been an absolutely wonderful, therapeutic, and beautiful project, it is time to move on. I've done everything here that I would like to do, and we should move on to bigger and better horizons. Better's a loose term, let's be fair. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that we're never going to be coming back here, that it would be absolutely insane because my entire storage system is right here. When the next place that we go to, I will probably make a new storage system, that is for sure. But for now, we will absolutely heavily be using this one. Now, there are a number of things that I would like to bring with us. For example, I kind of put a bunch of crap in the backpack here. I got a lot of food. This holds all of the wheat that we've been processing into bread so far. Sorry, this holds all the bread that we've processed so far. I've got a bunch of different tree saplings that we are going to be able to essentially make a whole nother tree farm out of, and then just some shiny bits because we're going to need shiny bits, and bones. Bone meal's always in high demand. Just a couple things that I want to bring with me, and those of you with keen eyes might see right down here, we've got lapis and a book. And I wonder what that's for. Well, you're gonna have to find out when we get there. So let's go saddle up Shadowfax and get out of here. It was nighttime a little bit ago. Hopefully there's no creepers around to ruin our day, and we'll get over to the new area. And we're coming up on the new place, not too horrendously far away from the Hobbit Hole. You can actually just, oh, that's the back of my head. You can just barely see the mountain here, the hill where the Hobbit Hole is. The Nether Portal is right up here on top of that hill there. And here is where our new area is going to be starting, right here on this little island. And off in the distance, look at this. So this is the Ars Nouveau, I think I got it that time, forest that replaces some of the forests that are generated by Minecraft itself. And I gotta watch out for these coffee bushes. And this here is an archwood forest. Now this is not where we're going to set up shop. As you can see, it's just... oh, it's so pretty. We will be building a nation in an archwood forest here relatively soon, but look at all the different tree types that we have. And over here we can see they have the mage lights that just give off this eerie glow at nighttime. And man, oh man, isn't this place just super, super duper cool. Now, we're not going to be building in here today, although we will be building right next to it, right over here. And I'm just going to pop out into cheaty free cam a little bit and look at this. It is right next to a village. That was not horrendously planned on my part. This is not exactly what I was thinking. However, this island right here, I think, is going to be perfect for us to start our magical journey into Ars Nouveau. Now, I have a couple ideas in my head on what I want to do on this island, and I'm really thinking Wizard Tower at some point. I might put one, oh gosh, right over here maybe. I think that would look really, really cool. And then look at what we've got in the background here. Just this amazing, weird generation right next to a magical forest. Incredible stuff. And yeah, the village is just kind of a plus. It's just not something that I really had planned for. Hey, we've got a village next to our mage tower. Isn't that neat? But look at all these animals and such that we've got going on here. The villagers. Oh man, this is super cool. And we'll have to build a nice, you know, a good enough bridge for an island that has a mage tower on top of it. Man, this is just gonna be so perfect. I got bears. I don't know what to do with bears, but they're there. And then I want to take you over to another area where I think we'll be starting another thing here relatively soon. Definitely not this episode, but over here I think is where I'm gonna put our next full nation. So we've got our little hobbit area over there. That's like a kind of nation sort of thing. It's just a little place for myself, but I think right over here is where I guess our first nation is gonna go. And I don't want to spoil too much, but it's gonna involve some rocks. No, it's not dwarves. But I want to come over here. Ooh, this is from the archaeology plus thingy. Very cool. So I got to get a brush and we can start brushing up some of this stuff. Very neat. And look at this. Isn't that incredible? That's also Screaming Mage Tower, but don't worry. We'll get there at some point, folks. Well, that's way too many spoilers in like 5 minutes time. So let's head over to our little island area and I'm going to set down a little bit of shop. We'll put down some chests, maybe some barrels, and we'll get into what we're getting into today. Now, what I want to get into today is Ars Nouveau. I want to check it out. I haven't done anything in it yet, and I just want to see real quick Are these friendly bears? Do these bears like us? If I get too close to them, are they gonna get real angry with me? I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like it, so we're just gonna back away slowly. We're not gonna show them our backs. And, yeah, we're gonna check out Ars Nouveau. We're just gonna head over to our little cot. We're gonna set that as our respawn point. And we are going to open our inventory and make ourselves a worn notebook. Now, what this is going to do is, look at this. It has all of the things that you need to know to get started in Ars. And now Ars, for those of you that don't know, is a magic mod. And essentially what we can do is we can make spell books and cast spells. We can make little, like, spell tables. We can, those crazy source seeds, we can, like, harvest magical energy in those and do things with them. We can make, like, little turrets and put them onto create machines and have, like, turrets that spin around on create machines, shooting stuff. Ars is just an absolutely incredible magical mod, and I can't wait to get started in it. And as the sun goes down in our brand new area here, I'm going to open up our book and we're going to get started. And we have an introduction to Ars. It's recommended to follow each section in order. Now, obviously, we're going to go to spellcasting, and I'm not going to read this to you because it's going to take a minute. So I'm just going to browse through this, and I'll come back to you when I have something that's a little bit more helpful. Hi, Piggy. Oh, and actually, before I sleep, oh, look at this with the mage lights in here, giving off that nice faint glow. Man, this place is awesome. Okay, sleepy time. So it looks like the first thing that we need to do is get a spell book, and what that means is I need a book, and I did not bring enough paper. I didn't bring any paper, excuse me. I brought leather, I just didn't bring any paper. So I am going to go ahead and make myself a book, and we also need some tools. We need a bunch of iron tools, and I'm glad that I brought a bunch of iron with me. So let me go ahead and get making this here spell book. All right, it says it's a shapeless recipe. However, I feel like I just need to do this just to make it look cool. And we have ourselves a spell book. Look at this. Ooh, I can hold control and it just opens that. Okay, never mind. All right, I'm not doing that again. Unbreaking X. I don't know how I did that, but I did it. Acquire a novice spell book. Look at that. Very cool. Very, very cool. And now, for some reason, my action bar is grayed out, but I can still use things. Interesting. I'm not gonna worry about that too much. Okay, novice spellbook. Let's check on the worn book and see what happens here. Now, essentially, what we need to do is we need to make spells in our spellbook, right? So we have this spellbook, and it doesn't do anything because it doesn't have any spells in it. Ah, there we go. We hit C, and we quick craft, and we have some things here, right? We have forms, and we have effects. Now, forms are what they actually, like, how it affects the world, more or less. So you have a projectile, right? And essentially, it summons a projectile that shoots across or targets a block, etc. You have yourself. It's kind of self-explanatory. Spell you start with, you know, it applies to you. And then we have touch, and it applies to the blocker entity that is targeted, right? So then we have break. Breaks a block at an average hardness. It can also do harm, right? Damage as a target may be increased by amplify, etc., etc. We have, let's try making a spell. We're gonna do a projectile harm spell, and it'll show us how much mana essentially this is going to use. So if I can just keep adding them, and it's going to do a ton of damage, right? Now we can name it projectile harm 4. I think is a good thing to name, and then we're going to create. Look at that, projectile harm 4. Now ready? Bam. Boom, hurt the piggy. Sorry, piggy, you were the only thing we had for an experiment here. And look at that, it did a whole bunch of hearts. I think if I do it again, piggy might die. Sure does, and we get ourselves some pork chops. And as you can see, mana is just regenerating by itself in the bottom left corner. Now, if I hit C again, I think it pulls up our first tab, which is projectile harm 4. Now, we also have more tabs that we can assign more spells to, all the way up to 10 tabs by the looks of it. And we can get a better spell book, which will allow us to have more potent spells and better spells, etc., etc. But this is the one that we have right now. We'll get into the other spell books later. So for the next spell, we're just going to do touch break. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I think if I just... yeah, it just breaks it. Look at that, touch break. And I think it like works on stone as well, and it'll give me some cobblestone. It sure does. Don't think it's gonna work on things like obsidian or anything like that, but as you can see, I can't use it like this because I'm not actually like targeting that block of log. But when I am, I can just break logs. I don't have to use my tool for this. And boom, the whole tree has been cut down. Look at that. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. We get the whole tree. And what's really great about it is it didn't use any durability on my tools. Now, what happens if I want to change the spell? I can go ahead and do that. I can actually remove the spell. I can clear the whole thing out. The spell name goes away, and we get our tab open again. And this one, I don't know what happens. I have Touch Break 4 on, and I'm not sure what's going to happen once you add more breaks. I don't really know. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, and I'm going to target this grass block. And it didn't do anything. So I'm wondering if maybe it'll allow you, if you add more breaks, if it'll allow you to break harder things like obsidian, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to do some testing on that. Now, there are things that you can put on spells called augments, and they will essentially allow you to do extra things. There are augments, I believe, that allow things like, instead of breaking that and we get the copper from it, it will silk touch it, etc. I believe there's also augments where you can smelt things that you break as well. And those augments, I think we have to unlock at a spell table. I'll get into that once we get more into the worn notebook. And then taking spellbook out of my action bar actually made everything come back. That was really weird. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, and we are going to go to number 2, which is obtaining source gems. So to get a source gem, we need an imbuement, yeah, wow, chamber. And then we need some source next to that imbuement chamber. And I'm not entirely sure what a source gem does. And to get an imbuement chamber, we actually need to head home for a minute because I need to get some gold and some archwood planks. Now, obviously we have archwood right next to us, but I have a bunch of gold at home, and we'll go ahead and use that to make ourselves an imbuement chamber. And I would like to get some of those source berries from home as well, because I believe that those, if I put them next to like a source jar or something like that, as they grow up, they will add source to the source jar, which the imbuement chamber will use to do some things. I believe source is like liquid mana or something like that. But yeah, let me grab a couple things. I'll be right with you folks. Now, before we move on, there's just a couple of things that I wanted to show you. We got these little things here, right? And these kind of grow on the side of those archwood trees, as you can see behind me. Let's see if we can find one real quick. Right there, right where I'm pointing at, that little thing that kind of looks like a blue cocoa pod, that's this frostaya, right? So these grow on the side of those archwood trees, and they each have their own little ability, right? They give some saturation as well as an effect. So the bastion fruit, which grows on the purple one, gives you shielding for a minute. Super nifty. Now we're shielded. And as you can see, like this thing, I can eat it when I'm not hungry, which is kind of incredible. Then we have the mendocine, which is going to give us recovery for a whole minute. Super duper cool. Next up, we have the Frostaya, which is freezing for 30 seconds. And this one terrifies me because we might actually die from this one, ladies and gents, because it's going to start hurting. And I got to be honest, I don't know if if you're wearing leather, if this would help. But yeah, this is going to be a whole another 12 seconds that we're going to be freezing. And on top of that, we also have the pomegranate. And this one might actually kill me. I'm not 100% sure. We're gonna drink another one of these guys here, eat another one of these guys here. And after the pomegranate is done, we explode. Now, I think because I had the bastion fruit, I had some shielding going on. We didn't actually go up as high as we normally do because when I ate that before, I shot up like 20, 30 blocks in the air and then just landed right back down. Pretty incredible. But you can use these to make potions and I believe spells as well, but I could be wrong. But definitely potions and yeah, they're friggin' hilarious. I'm gonna put these away before I hurt myself, and as you can see, in my pockets, I have a couple of things. First up, we have an imbuement chamber. I'm just gonna plop that on the floor right there. Ooh, look at that, isn't it so pretty? And that's kind of one of my favorite things about Ars, is everything in it, it looks really cool. Like, if you're into fantasy magic-y stuff, it looks really neat. Like, even this thing. Like the source jar, it looks super neat, right? Now, obviously, we don't have any source, right? We don't have any source gathered up. So what we're going to do here, as the book says, gotta do the cooking by the book. We need to obtain source gems. What we gotta do is put lapis inside an imbuement chamber and wait. So I'm gonna grab some lapis, and we're gonna put that in there. And I don't know how fast, so we add source nearby to increase the crafting speed. I don't know what we need to get to, if it's 100 or... Sorry, my phone was telling me to stop sitting on my butt. Anyways, I'm not really sure if it gets to 100 or what's going to go on, but essentially, this thing is going to turn into a source gem. And what are source gems, you ask? They make other things, essentially, right? You can use them to make glyphs and other things to make other things, right? Like enchanting whatnots and spell tables and hippity-hoppity music and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we need source gems in order to make other stuff. And that's where source comes in, honestly, because one of the first things we're going to be making is like, it's like a source aggregator. Oh, I just saw it happen. Cool. Boop. Look at that. Source gem. Yay. I'm going to put another one in there. The agronomic source link. Now, essentially what this does is crops and tree growth within 15 blocks. It will add source to this thing. And if we keep these jars next to it, it will output the source into these jars. And then if we have a jar next to this guy over here, the jar will be able to speed up this process here. So if we make an agronomic source link, put it right there, and then put a ton of crops around it, right, within 15 blocks, we can just speed up this thing, right, the imbuement chamber real quick. Every time a crop grows, I think any progress whatsoever, it will add some source to the jar. And if I remember correctly, yes, this thing is only 2 source gems and a couple of gold ingots. So let's go ahead and make one of these. Now, pretty much everything, as you can probably tell in Ars, is very gold dependent. And something interesting that I read in the little worn notebook here is a lot of gold spawns in these biomes specifically. So at some point, we're going to have to go underground and go digging and find us a bunch of gold. Plus, this is create. We can just, you know, have some gold being created in the background at some point. But, you know, today's not that day. I'm going to go ahead and place this down here, and I'm going to till some stuff. Actually, there's something I want to try. I got these source berries, and I'm unsure if these will actually generate source as well as they grow up. Now, as it said in the notebook here, if I just open this up, bone meal will not grant source. So we actually have to wait for these to just do this automatically, right? So I'm going to set a bunch of these out and just see if when they grow up, we get some source or not. And I just saw this thing go a stage and I saw a little flicker, but it says it's 0% full, but I do see some purple stuff here on the bottom. So I'm just going to sit here and watch this grow for a little while, and we'll see, I don't know how, gosh, give it the rest of the day and see how much source we get out of it. And it looks like the sun is going down. We still have some source going in. I'm just going to go ahead and take a little nippy nap. And that was only a few minutes, but let's see. We got 9% source. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to wait for all of these to grow up. I'm going to wait for all of them to have berries. And then I'm going to pick the berries. And I think these things hurt, right? Yeah, they sure do. I'm going to pick the berries off of them. And I want to see if when the berries grow, if that will give source as well. If it does, then we're going to enlist a couple of friends to help us out here. Good news, everyone! The berries growing absolutely fill up the source, which is super great. I have these over the top. By the way, if you didn't know this, when you're harvesting things like berry bushes that hurt you when you touch them, if you put slabs or trapdoors over the top of them, you can't actually walk into the berry bushes so you don't get hurt. So you, like, I can't walk sideways or in a straight line. I always get hurt by these things. Or, you know, any of the other regular berry bushes do the same thing. So, yeah, it's just super wonderful to, you know, throw something on top and then you won't get hurt by it. But, as I said, we could have a little friend help us out, help us, you know, harvest these things. But essentially, what I was talking about was a starbuncle. You remember those little squirrel thingies that were running around, the weird little squirrely-like things? These little guys right here. This little star, here's his butt, a little butt right there. Here's a starbuncle. Essentially, what we can do is if you give a starbuncle a gold nugget, it will drop a starbuncle nugget? A starbuncle something. Starbuncle token? It might be a starbuncle token. Anyways, you can use that token on something, oh, really? Something called an enchanting apparatus with like a certain recipe. And essentially what'll happen is you'll get a starbuncle charm. And when you use that starbuncle charm on the ground, what happens is you get a little starbuncle that comes out and helps you with automation. Now I gotta deal with these idiots. Give me just a minute. I can hear your burning question. Hey, Throw, what's an enchanting apparatus? Well, essentially this here, right? So you have 4 gold ingots, and you put a Starbuncle token on the little enchanting thingy. You get a Starbuncle charm, right? Which is the little thing, and it's some of the little Starbuncle. It's so cute. You can dye them any colors, right? And they will transport items. They actually move items between desired inventory, blah, 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 blah. You can use a Dominion Wand on them, which a Dominion Wand you make... Whoops, wrong button. It was the right button. I had to go over here. A Dominion Wand is in the enchanting apparatus as well. So you need 2 source gems, a stick, and a gold ingot, and you get a Dominion Wand, which lets you do a whole bunch of things. It essentially gives you dominion over something, right? So it says to the Starbuncle, hey, Starbuncle, put all your stuff in this chest over here, right? So it's pretty interesting. And you can set up pathing and all that sort of stuff, but look at that, it was at the end. Pathing with Starbuncles is essentially, they really like grass paths, right? So if you put grass paths down, they will try to use those as often as possible. Now, all this isn't permanent. Don't worry. I said this is where our mage tower is probably going to go. I'll move all this stuff elsewhere, maybe into the forest. I'm not really sure yet. But anyways, I would like to start going on the enchanting apparatus route. We'll get to new glyphs and all that sort of stuff later. We'll need a scribe table, which is actually pretty easy to make. We'll make that soon. But I want to try enchanting first. Darn it. All right, I'm gonna preface this with I have no idea, dudes. I've got no idea what's going on here, but we're gonna give it a shot. So I had to make some. Whoops! I had to make some source stone here, and look how pretty this is. I'm a huge fan of purple, and I really like it a lot. Anyways, I think we put an arcane core down with an enchanting apparatus on top, and then 3 pedestals like this, I think, and then you put stuff on the pedestals. And then something in the enchanting apparatus, and it will enchant using source. And I don't know. I'm flying by the seat of my pants right now. So I gotta look up how to get this charm again. Oh, I need 4 gold ingots with the token in the center. So how is that gonna work? I wonder. These pedestals are kind of expensive. I need some more nuggets. I don't want to use more nuggets. Why? No, nope. You don't get to come over here. What are you doing? Tell me that's a job site for a villager. Tell me this is a job site for a villager. It is! A shady wizard? Oh my god, look at him! That's actually incredible, and your name is Dwight. Yeah, it is, buddy. Oh man, I'm dying. All right, okay. I gotta figure some stuff out. All right, let me move this over. I don't know if this is gonna work if it's over here. I don't know if this needs to be directly next to it. Let me make another pedestal. The dumbest thing ever. Oh, and to make this source stone, essentially what you do is you get your little gem, right? So you get your gem, and then you take any sort of stone, and I don't have enough. I've been using andesite. I'm gonna have to go find some more regular type stone because it doesn't take cobble. I could smelt some, or I can just look for some andesite and or... I think it takes granite or anything that's not cobble, essentially. Of course, the only thing that I have. Let me tell you, that biome behind us has a ton of gold. I think it replaces some of the iron generation, just like zinc does. I think with the create mod pack. But yeah, I got over a stack of gold, and I was in there for, I don't know, 20 minutes. So we're absolutely gonna have to do some digging over there. But anyways, I think I've got everything I need. We're just gonna put some gold down on these pedestals here. We're gonna put this Starbunk. That was so cool. That was so cool. The cutest hopper. Oh my gosh, stop. That's adorable. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and make these all grass paths over here. Just so hopefully the Starbuncle doesn't like walk through the sharp thingies. And I want to test something. So it says that it will just harvest berry bushes, right? These berry bushes here. And I want to see if it'll put its contents, the berry bush contents, into a drawer. And I'm gonna be perfectly honest, I don't really know like if I can tell this thing to like where to drop stuff off or if it'll just know to do it. Oh, really? The other side? Thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in there, and I am going to summon this thing here. And now we got a little Starbuncle friend. Look at that. Storing items at 0 locations, taking items for 0 locations. Does this need to not be on top of it? Nope, I need a Dominion wand by the looks of it. All right, let me see how one of those is made. Okay, it looks to be 2 source gems. I got a bear over here that I gotta watch out for. A piece of gold and a stick, and I think the stick goes in here? I mean, it looks like it. What's up, bear? What's up, my dude? What you up to? I'm making a wand. All right, let's see. Do we get... We do! Look at this! Oh, very cool. I want you to harvest these. Nope. That's not how that works. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Okay, so I think the issue is the Starbuncle does not like drawers, but that's okay. We can fix that, I believe. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put a chest down, and I'm gonna smack this thing with a wand. I think I just right-click on it, and then right-click on the chest. Starbuncle will store items here, and it's picking it up. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! It's so cute. Look at this little guy. What a good little worker. Oh, and it doesn't get hurt by the bushes. Oh, that's so fantastic. Okay, so now what I should be able to do is, I think I can just put the drawer here and then have a hopper going into the back of it. Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic stuff. Why are you stuck? What's going on? Friggin', oh, I hate these bushes so much. Referring to path on Sourceberry. I don't want you to prefer to path on Sourceberry. Can I pick you up, buddy? You seem stuck. So little dude's just gonna do his business. He's gonna hang out over here. He's gonna harvest all these for us, which is fantastic because I'm super lazy and I'll forget about these. Honestly, that's the biggest issue is I'll just forget to pick them all and that'll be real bad. But yeah, this is absolutely fantastic. Essentially what this means is not only do we all just automatically get these source berries, but now we just get all the source growing all the time because I won't forget that the source berries need to be picked and the source will keep growing. This is fantastic. And some of you might be wondering, what happens when he dies? I'm not going to show you, but he'll just drop that Starbuncle charm and we can go ahead and use him, you know, summon him again, essentially. And he's the Starbuncle that keeps on giving. Now I have more Starbuncle tokens, which means I can make more Starbuncle charms, but I don't really have anything right now that I would like more Starbuncles to do. They are, this bear, gosh, he's scaring the heck out of me. Yeah, I don't really have anything else for Starbuncles. Hey, Dwight, what's going on? Starbuncles to do at the mo. So I think what we'll do is we'll just keep them as is for right now. We'll let this fill up. And I did find out that you can actually farm these on these trees here. Go ahead and put this bastion fruit on here. Ready for this? Bam! And now it'll start growing up. And we can just, you know, feed that guy emeralds. Or feed that guy these and we'll get emeralds. This is so awesome. This stuff is so cool. Now we got all these berries rolling in, but like who cares? Who cares about source berries? Well, I do. And here's why. Now if we go into source berries and JEI, I can just show you everything they can do. First of all, purple dye, which is the best color ever. Secondly, we've got some food items that we can make, like sourceberry pie that gives us plus 20 mana regen, which is pretty incredible, and mana regen for a minute. I have no idea if these stack. I'm assuming they do. As you can see, we've got some other stuff that we've got to unlock first before we get to those. Now you can make potions of mana regeneration, which is pretty incredible. This is probably my most happy thing is there's a 30% chance of increasing a composter when you compost them. So this little dude right here is our new bone meal farm. Like I can make an entire field just of this. Wow. Like this thing here, the Argo, this thing? Nope. This thing, agronomic source link can take crops from 15 blocks away. 15 blocks. That's huge. So I can just have this huge pad of 15 by 15, right? And the Starbuncle will just go dipping its toes in and out and it doesn't get hurt by these things. And just plopping them in a chest straight into a composter. And then we've got ourselves some bone meal. I'm absolutely doing that. I don't know why I like standing on these chests. Anyways, now some of the other stuff is we can use them in the enchanting table, right? Which looks like you can add some more pedestals to, which is pretty cool. You can get the thread of magic capacity, which is cool. I don't know what that does yet. But the other thing that you can do with the enchanting setup is actually enchant. And that's right, you can use items to make enchantments, and you can put them on tools, you can put them on books, etc., etc. So source berries are used for mana boost and mana regen enchantments, which is pretty incredible. And then you can put those on things like armor and whatnot. And then the last thing that I'm super excited about is a source berry sack, just because it looks really cute, and I like it a lot. It's a very pretty block. Now, there is one more thing that I would like to take a look at today, and that is this, the scribe's table. Oh, look at how cool this thing looks in my hand. That's super neat. Now, I don't think we're gonna have everything that we need for the scribe's table. Oh, that did not place how I thought it was going to, so I guess I'll try that instead. Feel like that's the wrong side, and I gotta turn it around. There we go. Now, as you can see, I can't right click on it, and if we go into the notebook, we can scribe some spells using the scribe's table into spell parchment or enchanter's items. My goodness gracious. Now, I think what we can do here is use this on the table in order to open this. I don't really know what we've got. Two-touch break, so let me just switch out the spell real quick. I'm gonna do projectile harm, so that way it can't hurt the table, and I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Here's all the glyphs that are available that we can unlock using the scribe's table, right? So right now, since we only have the novice's spellbook, we can only do tier 1 glyphs, or if you don't know what that is, go ahead and dye a sheep. I think, what is it, red next to a vindicator? Nope. Dye a sheep blue next to an evoker. It'll go woolulu and make the sheep red. That's what I was trying to say. Anyways, we can go ahead and unlock some other glyphs here, and we have things here that are like amplification, so additively increases the power of most spell effects, etc., etc. And a lot of these, you know, you just hold shift and it'll tell you what they do. AoE. Love that. Sounds great. And you can see here, like, conjures mage light, okay? Those things that we saw in the enchanted forest over here. It'll have a little levels required. I'm pointing at my screen, you can't see that. It'll have levels required, so you need 3 levels, and then 2 items. So what we want to do is we want to click on it and hit select, and what we are going to have to do is toss items as they appear, right? So we need to toss a lantern, as well as a torch. So we've got the lantern, here's the torch, and you see the table dips a little bit ink, and it's going to scribe our glyph for us. How cool is that? And now what I did there is I just scrolled over the glyph and I right-clicked on it, and now I have it. I gotta stop doing that. Now I have it unlocked here in my spellbook. As you can see, we have Conjure Mage Light. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit C, and I'm gonna go to number 1. I'm gonna clear that out. I'm gonna have Projectile, why not, and then Conjure Mage Light, and we're going to call this Projectile Mage Light. I'm gonna hit Create, and it should just put a Mage Light over there now. Boop, look at that. Very cool. And there are a ton of these. Like, we have opens the crafting menu, which is freaking awesome. There's bounce that makes you kind of like be on a slime block. Launch, which just launches entities or blocks into the air, which is hilarious. And then you can even summon wolves, which sounds just dope. And I need to try it. I need to try it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is unfortunately all the time that we have for actually, I think we have time for maybe one more thing. Ah, that's a little better and way more comfy. Look at this. I got my own little mage robes. Thank you so much, Dusk, my patron, so much for making this skin for me. I adore it. I love it so much. I'll pop in a free cam and get the entire look here. Oh, this is super wonderful. Thank you again, Dusk. This is just so perfect. But look at us. We got our little spell book. We can throw out some mage lights all over the place wherever we need them to be. And I got my nice mage's robes. We're set. We are set to start our mage journey. I'm so excited. But yeah, I'm sorry everybody that I didn't have some elaborate build like I normally try to do every single episode, but this was a lot to try and explain and a lot to try and learn, and it took way too long. So next episode, hopefully we'll have at least the foundations for our mage tower where we can start our new magical roots, I guess, as it were. Oh, look, we got a little butterfly coming to say hi. But thank you, everybody, for coming on this beautiful learning journey with me. This was so much fun to learn more about Ars, and I can't wait to just completely dive into more of the features in this, oh, hi there, in this incredible mod. And as always, an absolutely massive shout out and thank you to my patrons and my YouTube members. We've got Yo Your Mom Games, Interbert, Hugh Soul, Dusk, and Wraith. And then over as YouTube members, we have Av, Love for Sunflowers, Johnny Ringo, Math, Bot Sams, and Moon Goddess Lolo. Thank you, everybody, for all your support. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that crazy nonsense. Hit the Discord as well, because we're having a blast over there. And I will see you all in the next episode, hopefully with a brand new Mage's Tower. I don't want to I don't want to say too much, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, folks, much love. Bye.